Welcome everyone. This is a very interesting subject for a homeopath who looks at the whole issue of genetics and epigenetics from the standpoint of holism. This is a very interesting subject in one more thing that the scope of epigenetics, when it will be expanded and more knowledge about the epigenetics will come, the more expansion will be of understanding of homeopathy and its role in the therapy in terms of prevention and management of the diseases. We all know that an individual is a complex, simmering, and multidimensional entity which embodies the bioenergy through the ongoing continuum process of the life. And each individual's journey is a very unique one because each human being is an autonomous entity. We are the results of our genes and we can't change the genes. This is what we were thinking. Nothing can help a sufferer because by default system, there is a problem. But with epigenetics, which is a real and important part of the biology, this has opened up a new vista, new understanding to look at all of our negativities which we carried for long. And when we discuss the issue of the epigenetics, we are trying to discuss the relationship between nature and the nurture. Epigenetics, you all know, deals with the molecular pathways modulating the expression of the genotype into a particular phenotype. And when we discuss all these changes that occur in the phenotypic changes and the modulation in the gene expression, we deal with chromatin remodeling, chromatin folding and attachment to the nuclear matrix, packaging of the DNA, covalent modifications of the histone tails, and the DNA methylation. Epigenetics describes the inheritance by mechanisms other than through the DNA sequence of the gene or through the chemical tags. This is very important to understand that we discuss something other than what is by default already present. So there is a DNA sequence which is already in the form of the expression of the genome. So genomes are the same. Then what makes a difference as an individual who is unique? Unique in terms of his adaptation to different kinds of environmental stimuli. And therefore, when we study the epigenetics, we study the gene expression, both active versus the inactive passive genes of a change in the phenotypic without a change in the genotypic. Treat the patient as a whole is the holistic approach in homeopathy. The foundation bricks of management in homeopathy include constitution, diathesis, personality structure, dispositional characters of a person, and the physical domain. Homeopathy concerns about the autonomous individuality and the organismal collectivity that work in an integrated manner to maintain the homeostasis. We all know that there is a fundamental urge to heal. We all know that the survival instinct is the basis of our life. So we have been given the habitat. We have been given the homeostasis to maintain in all of the stages possible. When we fail, when our adaptogenic mechanisms fail, we have the affliction of the sickness. Through the deep history of a sick individual, a homeopath constructs the totality, which include the past history, family history, and the presenting totality which has evolved. This study covers the interaction of an individual in all stages of the life, intrauterine life, the person as a child, as an adolescent, as an adult, and as an old man, in the perspective of the environmental prolonged interaction. So in the history, through the family history, we have the genetic buildup, the genotype. Through the environmental interaction, we have the whole phenotypic expression. And you know very well, this is an interaction. This interaction of a dynamic quality has a big role to play in understanding the human being. in understanding the sickness. You cannot separate a human being from his sickness. An organism's genotype, the set of genes that it carries, and the phenotype, observable characteristics, which are influenced both by the genotypic and by the environment. And this is the totality of a sick individual in homeopathy. Homeopathy propounds that every disease is intrinsic and pertains to the patient as a whole and must be treated internally. Homeopathy meets the need of the holistic management, which comprises mental and physical consortium, the genetic milieu, and the massive influx of environmental variables that constantly exert their influence over the immune system. Now, let us see the constitution, the definition of the constitution in homeopathy, which is a very good definition as far as all other definitions are concerned. The constitution is the resultant of assimilation of genetic and environmental forces. I'm using the word two, resultant and assimilation. Through the process of the assimilation, we have a set programming, and then we have a dynamic system. On the background of the genotypic milieu, something which is structured already, we have the whole universe, the environment, to interact in a dynamic way. So the dynamic entity of a human being is unfolded through the unique plan which is programmed by his responsiveness to the environmental forces. This is the reason why every individual reacts to the same environment in a different manner. And not all genes are expressed all times. Who decides? Although each cell carries the same genetic information, only certain section of the DNA is active in each cell. So it is possible that with the aid of the law of similars, the natural fundamental principle of feeling, as told by Hippocrates and Paracelsus, and as has been observed in all medical therapies, acupuncture, Ayurveda, epigenetics, all therapies, mainstream medicine use the law of similars. And homeopathy has taken this particular issue of the foundation of the law of similars. Epigens are the markers located around the DNA that which gene sequences are expressed, are to be expressed. We all know that these epigenes help an organism to adapt more easily to the environmental forces, which are multiple. In other words, it is possible that what we are exposed to in our lifetime can affect our genetic expression. So, what is this environment? This is not only related to pollutants and the toxins. Our interpersonal relationships, our mental attributes, our receptivity to different aspects of the personalities of the others, they also become a part of the whole environment. So naturally, mind has a very big role to play, and no one can deny the role of the mind in affecting the gene expression. Rather, I will say that the duality which we are propounding in terms of mind and body are separate is a very wrong idea. There is not a single cell in our body which has no mind. Mind pervades all. So naturally, mental state of an individual has a big role to play, and therefore the personality structure of individual. Take, for example, research in the cancer. Certain cancer controlling genes may be activated by specific toxins, and homeopathic drugs are found to modify the gene expression in the cancer cell as far as the research is concerned. We have a very unique concept which we call as the concept of the miasms. So miasm is a concept like Vata, Pitta, and Kapha in Ayurveda. We have the four miasmatic concept, which is a synthetic view towards understanding of a human being in terms of health, disease, and the cure. It considers the constitution as an indivisible entity and unfolds the relation between various faculties of the medical science. In epigenetics, the field of adaptogenic mechanisms is studied, and this is parallel to the concept of the miasm in homeopathy. We have different ways of understanding the miasm. First, inherited miasm, where the miasmatic information is transmitted from the previous generation. For example, genetic disorders that run in the family. Congenital miasm, an individual is born with early stages of the active miasm. For example, with syphilis in the parents or AIDS. Dominant active miasm, which is deduced on the background of the prominent expressions of the individual and the disease. Then the fundamental miasm, which is arrived at by the study of the family history of the diseases. Then we have the combined or complex miasm, because there may be more than one miasm evident at different stages of the treatment. The concept of the constitution and the diathesis in inseparably understood in terms of the miasmatic understanding. And this is altogether one way of expression of the genetic and the epigenetics. So there is a parallelism between the miasmatic concept in homeopathy and the epigenetics. The judgment regarding treatment is based on the dominant miasmatic phase. It means whether a person is able to modify the genetic expression for the adaptation, and whether homeopathic therapy is able to achieve that matters a lot in the entire management in the follow-up of a case. So we have the basic consideration is to focus on the dynamic processes of the genetic expression rather than on the actual DNA changes of the fixed character. I'm presenting you two small cases. This is a case of a 6-month-old boy, atopic dermatitis. You can see the gravity of the sickness which he has. We gave a remedy called as a calcium sulfuratum, which is a two molecules together, calcium and the sulfur. And you see a small change in the boy, but not a very big change. Then we gave a lot of remedies, no good response to the treatment. Then I went to the history, which was not given by the mother because she didn't find it necessary to express. Because sometimes patient has a different thinking and doctor has a different thinking. When I started taking up a deep interview of the mother, it was evident that during pregnancy, this mother had a big quarrel with her husband. And she was pregnant for 2 months. And husband left the mother of the child during 5th month of the pregnancy, very tender period of the life. Mother felt cheated, humiliated, and depressed. She tried her best to conciliate, but in vain. And mother had a feeling as if her soul is separated from the body. She had thoughts of suicide, but due to the child, she refrained herself. Now, this is coming from the environmental input, a very strong negative input, which is likely to stimulate the basic miasmatic energy, the basic genetic energy, and her epigenetic adaptation is not proper because it is being stimulated in a negative way. We selected for a remedy which is called the DNA, which is prepared from human DNA. This is one of the promising remedies in homeopathy. And the theme of this remedy is like a double helix structure of the DNA, where you will find that any groove, any fault with the DNA structure can have very big consequences over the system. So the theme is that the mind changed as if the structure, the unity, the symbiosis was affected. So the selection of the DNA was given on the basis of the broken symbiosis. Theme of double helix structure, which has to be maintained, means interpersonal relationship as a pair has to be maintained. And there was a very strong family history. So whenever there is a strong family history, one of the reasons of DNA selection as a remedy is very strong family history. So autoimmune disorders are also met with DNA. And we gave a single dose of DNA 200, and you can see the wonder in this case. See now, recovery within a month. You are able to see the crust have gone, the pus formation has gone, the itching has gone. You are able to see the natural skin of the scalp and other parts of the body. See now. within a span of around 3 to 4 years, we didn't repeat DNA as a remedy. Now, you have to understand the whole process. The process is related to the whole understanding of the epigenetics and the genetics together in homeopathy. DNA has the strong family history of cancer, which was a strong feature in this case. Strong diseases like Parkinsonism give us, according to homeopathic understanding, syphilis as a miasm. It has nothing to do with syphilis as a disease. Mind well, it is a concept. And you can see how the mental state of a mother during pregnancy affected the child and how the basic miasmatic energy was being stimulated. And what is atopic dermatitis is a reflection of that particular diathesis, the atopic diathesis. I have to give you one more case. This is a young woman of 30 years, astrocytoma of grade 3 with poor prognosis. She was operated 2 times. And after second surgery, she developed right hemiplegia with alexia, paraphasia, agrammatism, and she was bedridden. We selected for a remedy prepared from the cancerous tissue of the breast. This is called as a nosode in homeopathy. Nosode is a disease product. The tissues are being taken up for the preparation of the homeopathic remedy. So we have more than 20 nosodes remedies in homeopathy. Like we have syphilinum prepared from the syphilis chancre. We have medhorinum as a remedy which is prepared from gonorrheal discharge. In the same way, we have calcinosinum. This is a very important remedy in homeopathy. Rather, it's a remedy of modern people. And with a single dose of calcinosinum 30C, she improved the level of hemiplegia and all other things. So we conclude the whole process of switching off and on of the epigens is regulated by the homeopathic remedy. So rather, I will say that the change in the genetic expression of the positive type occurs with the homeopathic therapy, and we have to understand that the constitutional prescribing of homeopathic therapy is, you see, because the on-off character of the genes is totally dependent upon the nurture, as if through this nurturing, you give a healing environmental input so that you are able to see that with the aids of the law of similars, you have the homeopathic remedies which cause the modulation in the gene expression, thereby aiding the organism to maintain the homeostasis. So, epigenetics is a new tool of understanding the dynamic action of the infinitesimal potentized doses, remedies of homeopathy. And it will certainly help the homeopathic community to vociferously present its status before the scientific community. As the progression in the science and we know more of genes, more of epigenetics, more of the human laboratory, the scientific aspect of homeopathy is coming to the fore more and more. And this has given us a big platform to understand the dynamic action of the homeopathy as a fundamental science based on the natural laws of healing. I thank the organizer for calling me here and to express my views about epigenetics and homeopathy. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Ajit. Thank you for your presentation.
Soru cevap kısmına.
Evet, soru cevap kısmına geçiyoruz hocam. İzninizle ben sizlere birkaç tane soru okuyayım. Sizler de cevabını bizlere iletirsiniz. Kriptik tonsilit kansere dönüşme olasılığı var mı diye bir soru gelmiş katılımcılarımızdan.
Evet. Güzel soru. Kriptik tonsilit direkt olarak kendisi kansere dönüşme riski yok. Fakat kriptik tonsilit bir ağız kokusu nedeni, özellikle kronik bakteriyel enfeksiyon oluyorsa ve çok fazla atak geçiriliyorsa bu durumda tedavi edilmesi gerekir. Hatta şöyle bir durum daha var. Sadece kanser değil, çok sık geçirilen bademcik enfeksiyonlarının aynı zamanda nörodejeneratif hastalıkların oluşum riskini artırdığına dair yayınlar var. Yani Parkinson gibi, Alzheimer gibi hastalıklar